Hello and welcome to the greatest Tamil science channel. I'm your host Vishakha, and we'll continue our conversation with Dr. C.K. Nandagopal. Hello, sir.
Good morning, Jadava.
So today we look and understand more about dreams. This is a hugely under-understood topic. All of us have dreams. We spend an average person spends about 8 hours of their day sleeping and about 30 to 40% of that period of time dreaming. We might remember or not remember them. But what is this dream? How does dream affect us? Or is it that our life affects our dream? So let's understand more about it. So what exactly are dreams? If medically we have to talk about dreams, what is it to dream? How does the medical science define dreams?
Yeah, dream is English word only. It came into existence from 1500s. Before that, there was no word called dream. But there was some component called dream was going on ever since humanity was created by nature. Scientifically, there is no great explanation for dream. There are many people have given, philosophers, psychologists, those who work with cognitive areas, the brain-related works. All these people, there is something called dream is happening in you and me. But there are n number of explanations. Those I would say that it is more so towards your imaginative explanation. I would rather put it that way. Okay. It can only be an imaginative explanation because the point here is, if you carefully look at the whole physical existence of a human being, the human chemistry is something very difficult to understand, because it is a mass of atoms which is built you. You got it? Yeah. You are only built with 6 major atoms, 99%. 99% of your body is 6 atoms. They are oxygen, carbon, hydrogen, nitrogen, calcium and phosphorus. Balance 1 or 2% only runs into a huge this thing. Gold, silver, copper, chromium, iron, lead, magnesium, whatever, manganese, selenium, boron, it runs. Vanadium, molybdenum, all kinds of things like cobalt, goes on and on. But where is the, how beautifully the nature has done these 100 trillion cells with the 99% of your body is built with these 6, major atoms, out of which the oxygen, carbon, hydrogen represents 92% of your human body. See how brilliantly it has done it. But then they are functional. Now, how do you go and understand this? That's what they are doing it in quantum biology. Trying to understand.
How does an atom become alive, really?
No, atoms are always alive. If you take an atom of gold or an iron or a mercury or anything, there is a nuclei, the electron protons are revolving. They are not dead.
No, I mean alive in the human sense, or the living.
There is a life.
Alive.
These atoms, if you call that iron, copper and all that is a dead material, this human material is become alive.
Alive.
So there is some force, that is the soul, which is bringing life into this matter. And they start functioning. Right. So when you take the brain, there is lot of chemicals are there. You have this DHA, docosahexaenoic acid is there. You have this dopamine is there. There are, the pineal gland produces melatonin and serotonin and all those things. There are, the pituitary is there. It is producing so many hormones. The DHT is there, which is responsible for learning and all that education and all that. There are so many things which you are trying to understand. Constantly we've been working to understand how exactly this nature's created human living organism, which is supposed to be having the most sophisticated brain or talents and skills and understanding and language and imagination, thinking and memory and learning, all that kind of thing. What it is a dream? First of all, what is sleeping? In a sleep, all your sensory organs are shut down.
Right.
There is a mechanism in you, is shut down everything, so many things, and it is doing the repair and damage work, which I explained to you last time.
Yeah.
Because your IGF-1, everything, this growth hormone is produced while sleeping.
Really so.
And in degeneration and regeneration of many intricacy cells and all are going on when you are asleep. The parasympathetic system take over from the sympathetic nervous system, all those kind of things. All those things, we are able to understand all those things. We are able to go slightly closer towards that and able to understand that. But the quantum biology, which the quantum physics and quantum mechanics, which talks about atoms and subnuclear atomic particles and all that stuff, have clearly understood that, you know, the earth is negatively charged. The human beings are negatively charged. The human cells are negatively charged. You know, they don't want any positively charged material. So whatever you excrete through your sweating and urine and so many things in your breathing and all that stuff, because body is rejecting all the positively charged components. This is very beautifully studied in quantum biology. And then any positively charged, all your free radicals, which is the outcome of electron transport chain at the mitochondria in the human cell, which are positively charged components, which has the capacity to damage.
Damage to the body.
Yeah. An oxygen species called reactive oxygen, which can destroy your cell. It will kill it, finished. It is blasted into pieces, your cells is dead and gone. Then there is a constant power supplies are going on inside the body. Every cell has to be given, it's called millivolts. This measurement is called millivolts. So the body is also generating electricity and providing constant electricity. 20 millivolts of constant electricity input should be given to each and every cell for it to function normally. When it becomes 15, it becomes lazy. When it becomes 10, it is functionally dead and structurally alive. When it comes to 5, structurally also dead. Yeah. When free radicals come and damage the human cells, you need 50 millivolts of power, because the glutathione comes into play to repair the damaged work. It needs more power. So that body has to step up and give. This is where thyroxine 3 plays a lot of role. So all these things we are able to study, going closer and closer and closer. But what is dream? You know, we cannot pinpoint and say that this chemical is being produced and that is what. No, the consciously you are shut down, because all your sensory organs are shut down. When you are deep sleep, there is a music going on, you don't hear.
You don't hear.
Yeah, your eyes are shut down, so you can't see. And your consciousness is not sleeping. No. Because if the consciousness is sleeping, then you are dead. See, unconsciously when you are in coma, the consciousness is there. It is called unconscious. But the existence is not there. The existence is, you are alive. You are not cognitively aware.
You're biologically alive.
Yeah. So, the consciousness is still there. You can call it with different names. No, when a person is sleeping, he is unconscious. So, you take the U and N. Conscious is there, no? So, consciousness is there. It is delinked.
But when a person is either fainted or in coma, we wouldn't know whether they are dreaming, or probably they are not dreaming either. So there is some difference.
No, see, unless you study the science of soul, which cannot be scientifically studied. Principle of science, one has to see everything visually. There are many things you cannot see visually. No, nature has not given you the spectrum. So there is something called death, right?
Yeah.
So what happens in the death? The soul departs. That's what we understand, right? So that soul in you which is functioning you is keeping, the product of the soul is consciousness. The soul is there, the conscious is there. Only thing that you are completely been delinked and you are sleeping. So there are many things are going on in that consciousness. At that time, the consciousness is fully with wisdom.
So coming back to dreams, when we are awake and there are so many thoughts, etc., running through our mind, emotion, thoughts, senses. We obviously do not dream. We think consciously. We don't dream. So is dreaming really a continuation of our thoughts or of our desire, something that we probably want to do or want to understand, want to think deeper but aren't able in our waking state? Is that what gets completed in the sleep, this completely different universe of dreaming where a person can do anything? Is that what is dreaming, or that is?
Yeah, you are coming exactly there, what I explained to you. Like when we are aware, when we are consciously awake, when we are not sleeping, when you are awake, you are continuously be a part of your thought chain, thought process, which is connected to your memory, emotions and all that stuff, and your responsibilities, your expectations, and you have to discharge your duties and all that kind of thing, right? So when you are sleeping, all the responsibility is not there. You are not going to go and cook food and serve food. You are sleeping. All of us have gone to sleep at 11 o'clock. We are going to get up only at 6:37 in the morning, unless and until you want to wake up early. So nothing is required, nothing is expected from you because you are sleeping. The people around you, right? Unless and until I want something, I'm going to wake you up.
Right.
Otherwise, I'm not. So what happens here? When you're awake, the consciousness is being, clouded with so many things, what I've explained to you, but still the soul is searching for the freedom, for the wisdom. So when you're sleeping, the consciousness is delinked from your bundle of memories. It is still there, it is still functioning, the consciousness is still functioning, because it's a product of soul. It is not the product of your body.
Or of your brain.
Yeah, the consciousness is still functioning. It is searching, it is enjoying wisdom there. Some of it is recorded in your brain as memory. So you remember some of your dream when you get up.
Yeah.
Or another aspect of this is that there are so many things are getting connected from the nature, from the other memory banks, which is available outside in the cloud computing, with your consciousness, because your bundle of consciousness is relinked. There's something happening there. There's something constantly going on there. Some you remember, some you may not remember. You may see some unique places in your dream. You may experience some very dangerous hard emotions in your dream. You may experience somebody close to you dying in the dream. It happens to people. You may experience that you have lost everything and you have become a beggar in your dream. You may experience some lion is searching you or fighting for your life in your dream running. All those kind of things. So those are all, if you take, as a person you live in Chennai, no lion is going to come and search you. There is no forest, there is no existence of lion anywhere in South India. Right? So where this soul is gone? Created a scene there. That means your emotional disturbances and turbulences are so high. Right? So there is something reflecting there in the consciousness. It is trying to imagine something, some situation, which you may not have even thought of it before. Consciously being awake, you would have never imagined a lion is going to search, run behind me and I'm going to run away for my life. But that comes in your dream. So that means it is not the continuation of your thought.
Yeah. Maybe more symbolic, but a continuation of maybe some waking thought of fear.
Definitely, when you are sleeping, your consciousness is very much functioning which you are not aware of it in total. But the consciousness is enjoying some wisdom there.
So, sir, can we, since it is wisdom, is there a way to interpret, or should we really interpret our dreams to say, okay, as a forewarning or as a forethought of what's good? I don't mean in a prediction kind of way, but to be more conscious of maybe my own, taking your example of a lion running, can it help me to become more aware of my emotional being?
No, you see, if you want to try to interpret a particular dream, if I remember, when I get up in the morning, and how am I going to, correlate this dream with my mainstream of life? That is not possible.
Or should
Symbolically, why that dream has come, which you may not be able to realize because you have not realized your soul so far. Okay? When you are sleeping, it is very clearly understood, very clearly it's a fact that your consciousness is completely delinked from the responses and the sensations of your sensory organs, and which is related to your perception, which is deeply connected to the bundle of memory that you have accumulated. It is the delinkings happened. If the same dealing, if you can retain when you are awake, that's meditation.
you probably wouldn't dream as much then.
It is not the question of we are continuously dreaming when you are sleeping. Some are recorded or some are not recorded. There is continuously something going on in your consciousness. Only thing that it is not getting recorded because that recording part of it is delinked. This brain. If you are gifted enough with certain chemistry, you remember all your dream. It again comes under the atomic level chemistry. See, if you take Ramanujam, he dreams all his mathematical calculation which comes in his dream. You can go and study his life history. He has portrayed it there. When he gets up in the morning, he remembers everything. He doesn't know anything. It has come into his dream and it is all crystal clear in his brain. He just goes and writes. This man's equations and all those formulas and whatever derivation, so many things which he has given in mathematics, which cannot even be understood till now. 95% of what he has given. Not even 5% of what he has given is understood. But he has said, I get everything in my dream through Lord Saraswati. When I get up in the morning, I remember everything. I just write.
Now that you say it, sir, it looks like dreaming is...
So what do you call this? Are you going to call this as a dream?
Maybe a lucid dream, because that's the dreams that people mostly remember, or in a semi-sleep kind of...
No, how I understand this is, the humanity, the human beings on this earth are millions and millions of years old. We have had many lakhs of years ago, tremendous scientific communities have lived with great mathematics and physics and chemistry and science and whatnot. And those cloud computing is still there in the ocean, and they get connected to your chemistry.
I was just going to say, I'm so happy you said that. So I think it's an opportunity that nature gives you to tap into that.
Yeah, it selects a human being, and then it induces that stuff into you, and then you remember it so well because your chemistry suits it, and then you reproduce it again.
So is it possible to create that chemistry in a human being?
No, you have to be, the whole thing comes under the astrological science. If your birth and your planetary positions, especially your Jupiter, is good enough, Guru, then it happens. In Guru and Vidyadharagan, that Mercury is going to be in a very powerful slot in your horoscope. Then you're a person who is chosen for it. The nature chooses a person. And you can go beyond that. If you open up, there is something called awakening of intelligence. It is sleeping, which is the highest, one of the highest tool of your soul. If you can tap it, you can understand the entire universe. You don't need dreams for it. You don't need to be a Ramanujan or an Einstein. You understand beyond that. You see every fact of nature. So dream is something, there are so many external things are getting connected to your consciousness is open for wisdom. And you don't remember most of it.
You don't remember.
Most of the people remember only stupid dreams, not the good ones. You will be fortunate enough with your birth, with your horoscope of planetary positions to be a Ramanujan or Einstein. And that's what happens. That's what leads to invention, which has already been done before, and it has been given to you in a spoon fed to your brain when you are sleeping. And that is what is dreams. Yeah.
So lastly, the ancient Tamil science, what does it talk about dreams and dreaming?
There are many people again have given many sort of explanation on dreams, but then, this what I have explained you is explained in the study of Andam, which is science of soul.
Science of soul.
Yeah.
So where the dreams are
The soul is a part of nature, which is out of the 5 supreme elements is the space, which holds everything. The space holds everything. Your solar family is within the space. Your galaxies are within the space. So your soul is representative of the space, which is உங்களுடைய உயிர் ஆகாயம் சம்பந்தப்பட்டது தமிழ்ல. So the soul is directly a part of the space. Yeah, the power of space, which is functioning you, and it is directly related to that existence of your life. There is no the consciousness which is enjoying many things when it is not when you are not awake, when you are sleeping. It's got many connections with the other parts of nature, and that's been very clearly portrayed in ancient Tamil.
Okay, thank you so much.
Not at all.
This was one of the most beautiful sessions for me. I mean, it's really eye-opening. There's so much mystery around sleep, and if we have to just put it simply, it's nature's way of giving you everything that you want, or teaching you everything that you want when your other senses and your thoughts, etc., are sleeping. It is a way to connect to the collective memory or the collective ideas of humanity, entire humanity of the, not just on planet Earth, maybe anywhere in this universe. It's beautiful. It just sounds so beautiful. So next time you dream and you remember it in the morning, remember you're blessed to actually be remembering your dreams. As Sir said, it's not everybody that remembers your dreams. Thank you so much for being with us.